Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the European Crossover webinar. And we are seeing the euro dollar. I really even pointed this out. Make a move higher. Here is the 6E, which is the euro futures, but make a little bit of push higher. We did have some stronger German retail sales came in pretty strong. They're expecting 3.3% or 3%. They got 7.7 and year over year, which isn't surprising because the pandemic, it was down negative three tenths. Actually, they were expecting negative three tenths, but an increase of 11%. So a pretty big jump here. Um, and we got Spanish Manufacturing PMI. They came in a tad bit weaker. Italian manufacturing came in pretty much in line, um, as did French. Both of those just a tad bit weaker, but pretty much in line. And the Euro zone manufacturing PMI came in 62.9. Uh, they were expecting 63.3. Once again, just a tad bit weaker. Um, no further data, although when we come into the States, we will have construction spending and ISM manufacturing employment. Those will both be out at ISM manufacturing employment will be out at 10 a.m. Eastern, along with ISM manufacturing new orders. The actual manufacturing PMI will be out at 9:45 Eastern, and then Canadian manufacturing PMI will be out at 9:30 Eastern. So there it is as far as the news. There's a euro dollar here. We're just a little bit higher, as I mentioned. I thought we were on the other chart. We'll just take a quick swing around. Let's just move into the other chart. And that's what I was referring to here in the euro futures, on the far left hand side. And bear with me. So here's on the euro futures on the half hour chart, and we have moved a little bit higher, or definitely off of these lows. Um, and as I said, it might be because of that strong German data. We had really fallen off a cliff starting on Friday. Boy, did we just keep dropping and dropping. And then when we hit that, you can see the amount of volume that went off as we broke to those new lows, and then we just simply languished there. We are getting a little bit of run up here in S&Ps. They actually made a move up here to the 4,200. Kind of eased back just a hair bit. Still pretty decent run here overall. And in the Nasdaq, same here. Just made a little bit of a push here. Once again, this is on the 30-minute chart here, but we did break a little bit higher here. Taking a look at where Bitcoin is. Wow, we're actually at highs of the day. Look at that. And I noted here in the analysis that this thing really made quite the run after making that low last week. Has really seen a pretty good strong rebound. I would have thought we'd ease back a little bit from here, but we're still looking pretty good. And I think actually I have this as resistance, if I remember correctly, right here. And then take a look here with where crude oil stands. A tad bit weaker after that strong run that we saw. Boy, what a run that was. Finally broke down, kind of languishing here after a snap, just a little bit of a snapback here, but off those lows, recent lows, but overall languishing around. And I think this was actually our support for today. I believe correctly, it was our 62.85. And take a look at gold. Not bad. A little bit of a push here. It looks like we faded in the sunset. Uh, Look at this here after that run to 17, a little over 1781. We saw that pretty good fall last week into the 1750s, which that actually shared that was actually the VWAP off of the March 31 lows. Look at that. held that market there. That VWAP came in at 1756, I think, and we might have dipped to 1753ish, I think, or 54, and that held it. And you can see here the market kind of languished, and we actually made a little bit of a push in here. Taking a look here at the pound, faring a little bit better itself also after a little bit lower dip here. And this is the pound futures here on the 30-minute chart. With that being said, we'll go and get started with the analysis. And here we are taking a look at the euro. So the euro, after posting a doji, once having reached and exceeded the 21.31 level, and here's that doji we saw on Thursday, then came undone on Friday. The pair closed on support level of 2017. Support for the new week will be 1986 with resistance at 2056. And onto cable. Cable posted a gravestone doji, you can see that, on Thursday before a slide that then took out two closing prices. You can see that. Support to start the week will be, and when I put two closing prices, I meant it took out the last 2 weeks worth of closing prices. So the last 2 weeks. Closing prices. Support to start the week will be 37.75 with resistance at 38.76. And onto the Aussie dollar. The Aussie finished Wednesday with a close above resistance of 77.92. After a test of 77.25, placing bulls squarely in control. Oh, I don't know why this didn't update. It's frustrating. But what I put on here, let me try and pull that information up. I said they really ran people all over the place. I don't know why it didn't update. Hold on. They pulled up. Okay, Aussie, after squeezing out shorts, then slid through key level of 77.58 before then taking out 77. Support to start the week will be 76.76 with resistance at 77.68. So they really cleaned people out. They finally got this close above the 77.58, or actually pushed beyond the 78 then, then pushed higher, then turned around and found support at 77.58, moved back up on Friday, and then flew right through the same, slicing all the way through 77. We'll find some support, and then we're very, very quiet right now. But support will be 76.76 with resistance at 77.68. And on to the dollar yen. Boy, we are still adding on. Boy, what a turnaround this thing has been. So the dollar yen saw a turnaround last week, breaking the downward spiral. Resistance to start the week will be the pivot area of 957. We're right there right now. We're just a hair above it right now at 960. Well, a little bit more than a hair. We're at 968. We're supported 889. Wow, what a turnaround. And we're above that right now, 968. Quite the smart turnaround here. Take a look if we are into any kind of see if we come into any kind of a Fibonacci. Yeah, we're right there at the 61%. So 962 is a 61%, although we're at 968 right now. And let's go move into the dollar index. Now, the dollar index posted its own reversal on Friday, closing at near two-week closing highs. Key resistance for the week will be 91.67 with support at 90.92. So once again, it's starting out a rather quiet session, although the dollar index is a tad bit lower here. Obviously, still remains bearish. With that, we'll go and take a look at Bitcoin. And Miriam wants to take a look at Palladium and Platinum, and we will once we get past the these other markets. Let's go and get to Bitcoin, as I said. This thing has really turned around strongly since of that dump from the prior weekend. Bitcoin posted a solid rally back last week, eclipsing 58,000. Friday posted a doji, so a pullback is reasonable. Support to start the week will be 55,020 with resistance at 58,792. That's 58,792, and as I mentioned, we're just above that right now. But resistance is going to be 58,792. And support, that's a long ways off, 55,020. But boy, this has had a pretty good strong rebound here. And I put 58,792, but actually this level right here, I might have been looking at a 4-hour chart, but here's the daily. Comes in at 58, yeah, 792. Yeah, there is 58,792. Yeah, or 58,654. And it looks like we just tagged it. We'll take a look at the 4-hour chart, 2-hour chart. No, actually, we have a 4-hour chart in here. And see if that happens to hit a fib. I know the Bitcoin trades very well with the fibs. We're in between 61% and 78%. But we are, like I said, just a hair under resistance. Once again, 58,792 for resistance. With that, we're going to move into the S&Ps. So the S&P thrice challenged the pivot 4167 on pullbacks. Sellers twice emerged on the move above 4207. Resistance is going to be 4194, followed by 4204. Support on a break will be 4167, and on a break of that would be 4158. So we did go on and pop up here. Take a look at the S&Ps. We had 4194, and then beyond that was 4204. But it kind of pulled back a little bit after we made it up to 4200. But 4204. And the pivot is still 4167. If we break that, it'd be 4158, but we're above that for right now. So once again, we're going to get below that pivot of 4167. Take a look here on the 2-hour chart. And you can see that 4167. And that's what I said thrice. 3 times they challenged it last week. Held it. And until we break that, we need to break that with some volume too. Moving on to the Nasdaq. Take a look at the Nasdaq. You can see last week we got this long-legged doji on the 2-hour, which is 13,907. That's resistance. And you can see we just got above it, and then we kind of paired back. Going to the Nasdaq. See right here, and we paired back just a little bit. We got right just above into this resistance. The true pivot is going to be 13,954. That would be the true pivot here. Well, a break above that, that's really going to move things around back and forth. This is some minor resistance here. And we've had a pretty good little sell-off. So once again, it's going to be, the key level is going to be 13,954. And support. Right there. Now it's going to be right there, 13,837. And let's go and move into the gold market. We did talk about the gold and how we've seen a pretty good little rebound here. Thought we might have offered some congestion and maybe dip back, but made this push up here. We did fade back. We've gone and faded back about $8. But gold, after making a run up to 1,800 over the prior 8 days, saw a pullback to the mid 1750s as traders paired back from those levels. Resistance for the week will be 1784 was supported 1748. Well, I said 1784, and right now the market is gone and run out of gas at 1781 and a half, essentially. It's going to be 1784. Did look for 1748. I think we can move this a little bit higher unless this thing just completely falls off the rails, and it would be at this point right there, 1766. We can do that a little bit closer. And let's go and move into crude. So crude posted a bearish engulfing candle on Friday, preceding the stops being tripped above 65 on Thursday, and resistance for the Monday will be 62.49 with support at 62.85. And you can see that's where we found support, just above here at 62.85 here. Let's go on and mark this off below. See if we can't. Let's just go and look at it instead of moving the chart around. You can see this bearish engulfing line that we have. Boy, was that they engulfed the entire body right here, opening the door for them to move lower. You can see here with the crude engulfing the entire Thursday's body, allowing for a point to move lower. Hence, with that, our support today was going to be 62.85. You can see where we come up with the 62.85 right here, coming right across. So far, it looks like the low came pretty close. It's like 62.90, so off by a nickel. See a little bit of a rebound from here. So as I mentioned, 62.85 on the downside. And on the upside, that's one heck of an upside. I don't think he's going to get up there. I put 64.29. Realistically now, considering where we're at, would come in right there. See this low right there, this bar. Actually, confluence of here would then be 63.95. And Amir wanted to take a look at platinum and palladium. We'll certainly take a look at those. So take a look at platinum. We're just quiet. We're just very, very quiet right here. We did try and poke our heads above that 1240 area. And we got up there. But remember I told you we needed 2 consecutive positive closes above here to break above. We got above it, and the second day we were above it, but we did not close above it. So failed on the 2 consecutive closes above 1240. So we're languishing And the key thing is going to be as long as we don't get two consecutive closes below 11.9. But you can see right now that's support. We actually broke even below it, but we got back above it. As long as we don't get two consecutive closes below, right now we're just kind of stuck. We're just treading water. So that'll be the key to get back above 1240. And so you need two consecutive closes above to push back up. And then to look at Palladium. Well, there's that. Look, we had that move above the 161% projection. You can see here on Friday, almost like a gravestone doji. You got to be a little bit careful with this now. Market will need to get above 3,007, actually it's 3,010, and I think that might even be a good feat for it to get above that in light of this little gravestone type doji. So I would just be cautious if we don't break below this 261%. That's probably where the stops are going to be right here. You can see there. Stops are going to be at 29.96. And markets have a little bit of a tough time getting above 3,010. With that, we'll go on and call it a day. I'll get the bias chart posted. We'll see you in the chat room. And thanks for joining us here on the European Crossover webinar.